And a pleasant good morning to you. 25 minutes past 8 o'clock hour, 25 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour is WNCR-TV Now as we talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation. I do hope you had a fantastic yesterday, making today even greater. Today is Thursday. Wow, this week, this time, everything is just going by, waits for nobody. We understand that for sure. 25 minutes past 8 o'clock hour. Of course, you've got an opportunity to share the Facebook Live video as I'm about to do right now. Probably say, is he even coming on today? I tell you what, a eventful show on yesterday. Let me see. Good morning. Good morning. There we go. Got it. Yes, I have my volume there on the telephone there. So just share the Facebook Live video so those may know. Yep, I did finally come on today. Yesterday, what happened yesterday? Of course, on the show we talked about Dr. Thomas L. Walker and his work in the community, and the misfortunate thing that's happening with his EBC Adam, a total outreach ministry organization. And even after the show, he was even as early as this morning. People are still talking about that, and that's an unfinished story for sure. There will be more conversation going on in regards to that in the upcoming days, I believe, for sure. So we'll just sit back and see that and be supportive of the efforts to not be participatory in a scheme that some are and have attempted to lay out for Dr. Thomas L. Walker in his as he matriculates through this thing called life. So that's one thing to remember and keep in mind today as well. Also, in about a few minutes, Councilman Jabars Walker will be here in the studio this morning. We'll talk about a couple things. Of course, I was at the budget work session on yesterday at City Hall, in which they were kind of finalizing and recapping what they were going to do. And it looks like there's consensus among council members to increase the property tax rate by 4 cents there for the city of Rocky Mount. So that most likely is what will happen in the final budget presentation. And also Elton Daniel, city manager, has shown additional ways to cut expenses within the city organization and kind of looking at some funding formulas as to what they have been paying and how they've been paying their fair shares on things. And one state, and it is related to the library and what should have happened if they were paying too much and who didn't pay enough, and that money should be recouped. That was something that was suggested by Councilman Elias Daughtry, supported by Councilman Reuben Blackwell in yesterday's committee of a whole for the city of Rocky Mount as they work through their budget process. We will say that this budget process brings back normalcy to how budgets have been done in the historical past of the city of Rocky Mount, as open as possible, hearing the debate and discussion of members of council as to their position on things is always good, and that is something that I was accustomed to for years versus the budget process of working behind closed doors in a budget committee. So good that they have moved from that other process into this process of what they have going on today, or during this budget cycle, should I say. So that's something, and so we'll talk to him about that when he comes in a few. Councilman Jabars Walker, City Councilman for Ward 7 in the city of Rocky Mount. But again, I think City Manager Daniels talked about how he was able to find an additional $900,000 in cuts. And this is related to some of the outside funding partners that the city has for various things. And so they were able to find the $600,000 for COLA. Now, the 4-cent tax rate increase will generate an additional $2.4 million to the city of Rocky Mount on an annual basis. That's an estimate. And then, of course, the $900,000, we'll just say, is for a round number, that he also found will contribute to an additional $3.3 million in the city's annual anticipated revenues, plus or minus, plus or minus there. We do know that of the $3.3 million in additional projected revenue, or including revenue / cuts, 600,000 of that would go to COLA. So it would actually leave a net unencumbered revenue stream about $2.7 million. And it looks, and I may not be completely correct about this, but it seems as though the 2.7 would initially be earmarked for fund balance. And when they get an accurate number on what their fund balance is, then they would look at doing merit pay and or projects with the city of Rocky Mount. So that is what they were talking about. One thing that I forgot, there wasn't a lot of discussion, at least maybe I missed it, about the CIP plan, which is the capital improvement plan. And so one thing that Mayor Pro Tem Tom Harris, one thing that Tom Harris was talking about is that, you talk about we're not, making investment in the community, but this year the city will be making about $28 million in capital improvement projects. And so this is actually my first time kind of opening up the CIP plan, but that's also available on the website as well. And let me see if it gives a snapshot. Oh yeah, $27.9 million. And so it goes to facilities, technology, police, fire, parks and rec, public works, fleets, transit, and surfacing transportation. And there was a $6.1 million reduction in the CIP dollars there. And so that's basically what that was. The money that was cut from the general fund. I think the general fund was cut about $7 million, somewhere there about. So anyway, reduction required to balance the general fund, reduction required to balance the general fund, reductions to be evaluated, reduction required to balance the general fund, reduction required to balance the general fund, balance the general fund, no reduction required, projects funded primarily through grants, reduction required to balance the power bill budget. And so so there'll still be roughly $27 million spent in capital improvement between facilities, technology, police, fire, parks and rec, public work and fleet, transportation, and again, surfacing there. And then you look at the funding source. Cash is current revenues, fund balance appropriated in the proposed budget. So power bill funding, the general fund, vehicle permit fees, installment financing is the way that that will be financed, as well as anticipated $11.5 million in grants and about $1.2 million in other sources, whatever that is. And so that is where the money is coming from to support the capital improvement projects for the city of Rocky Mount. And then, of course, you have a couple of utility projects that are separate and apart. Our budget is kind of interesting, the way the city has and it's, I guess it's just the same, I guess, as our utility bills, where they're a combined bill that has a number of different elements to it, from water to stormwater to refuge, gas, the various taxes. I'm trying to think of what else is up there. I guess that's it that I can think of. And any other utility you might have, you have a area light or something of that nature. Anyway, you got a compound bill. there. And so, again, for the utility projects, as it relates to electricity, gas, water, sewer, and stormwater, you expect to spend another $28 million there as well. And those funding sources includes cash, installment financing, grants there, too. So the city is spending a great deal of money on maintaining property and equipment. Call it good morning. Or CIP, session.
Good morning, Mr. Bronson.
Good morning.
Listening to you talk, why merit pay instead of cross-the-board pay? You know, merit pays, if somebody don't like somebody, you're not getting anything. So I never liked the merit pay situation.
So they are doing an across-the-board cost of living of a 2% COLA. And,
okay.
And then what is proposed and what the city council members were, some were strongly, wanting, is to appreciate the city staff for what they're doing and said, hey, it isn't their fault that the city is in the financial shape it's in, and they should find ways to do that. And so,
okay. And the other question that I have, we are continuously talking about the high cost of utility bills. Mm-hmm. Why don't the city come out with a grant for solar systems?
For who? Oh, solar.
Huh?
You said why did the city come with a grant for solar?
Uh-huh.
Well, one, it would create direct competition for the city of Rocky Mount.
And I know that, but still, it will help the residents, those who want them. Everybody don't like them. It depends on how your house is designed for them to look nice on your house. But then they have something that you can set out in your yard also. Mm. But I would be grateful and happy if they came out with a grant for that. And that's one thing that I do plan to research because it would truly cut back on the utility bills. Yeah. We're talking about green this, green that. What else? That's the most green I ever known. The sun giving you energy.
Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of federal grant programs that will support solar power, but I haven't seen any municipal governments do it. But maybe in California they may have some solar initiatives. But certainly here in North Carolina, being 72 plus districts that have electric power and offering that as an offering to its residents, I don't think they're in that business. I don't even think Duke supports solar energy. But again, the federal government does, and so there are grants available for it. There are people in Rocky Mount who have solar power panels on their houses, and the way that program also works is that if you do have solar power, and your utility goes back to the city then reimburses you for the power that you don't use that you were able to capture on your device. That is also a part of either state or federal law that requires the city to participate in that program as well. So you can actually start earning money by being a electric generator. Now, what that does do on the flip side is the required amount of utility the city still is on the hook for. They still have to pay it whether they use it or not. So that agreement, I think, is still that way. And so whether they use the power or not, they issued or signed some agreement that they believe they can use so many kilowatts of power on an annual basis. And so that's what they're going to be billed for, whether they use it or not.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it would be great. I wish somebody would look into it, and I know it would be a deficit for them. But on the other hand, it's a deficit for us to keep paying these high bills.
I get it.
And the other question I wanted to ask, and this is pertaining to yesterday, Sister Teresa, does she have an in-home nurse coming in to help with Reverend Walker?
I don't think so.
Okay. I was just thinking about it yesterday. I said how beneficial it would be, which would give her some relief and let her get out and get some things done and just feel free, at least 3 hours out of the day. I don't know what their financial situation is, but, I was just thinking about it yesterday. Just get a male figure to come in to help him with his morning chores and get him breakfast, even if she just wanted to sleep in late. Get him down for a nap before they leave, and just move with that. But it was just something I was thinking about yesterday, not trying to run nobody's household, but I know sometimes when you have someone which has some physical disabilities, it's sort of difficult with the pulling and doing what you have to do. And I did want to mention that on Sunday I was into some chores, and I looked up, it was 3:30, and I was so hungry, and I went to Pop's Diner.
Mm-hmm. I saw you there. That's right.
Those Southern smothered turkey wings are simply delicious.
Every
In fact,
Sunday.
the entire plate was delicious. And I just want to continue to encourage individuals to visit your diner, because you really do have some good Southern food. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Of course, our cook Matt, he was unfortunately on Monday he went to the hospital, and so I've been in the kitchen cooking. I said, well, look, I can be little Chef Bronson. So people say, oh, these burgers are great. So I seasoned the burgers and all that good stuff. Felt like I was a little grill master and all that stuff. Made some spaghetti. And my Lord. But anyway. Let me say my good morning to those who have tuned in to Wncr-Tv Now. That includes Gwendolyn Swain. That includes Ray Daughtry, Barbara Smith, Deborah Gunter, Gloria Brake, Melinda Ingram, Lucy Boyer, Andre Smiley, Alice Davis, who we just heard from, Alfreda Perkins there, also Allison Williams, Alice Bailey, Jackie Leonard Randolph, Lorraine Pitts, Stanley Richardson, Candy Staten as well. So good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Wncr-Tv Now as we continue to talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation. And if you hear that throat clearing, that is none other than the Councilman Jabbar's J. Kelly Walker this morning, who's coming to the studio as well. And so we can just slide over just a little bit that way. Be good to go there. And so, again, good morning to all of you all, and good morning to Jay Kelly. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing just well. Of course, y'all are in budget season for the City of Rocky Mount. What do y'all have, 4 sessions?
Yes, that was the third one.
Oh, the third session. Okay, the third session. And so you pretty much got everything nailed down, and it's probably being ready to compile and get ready for public hearing, I guess, right?
Monday we're ready. I think the electric piece we voted on, took a straw vote last night. I think we'll go with option 2. It's not on the residents. It's kind of like mixed, industrial. Everybody get a little bit of everything. And I think kudos to the city manager for making some hard cuts that had to be made. But we had to get what we had to get to pass the budget to get what we needed.
Yeah.
And even some major projects will probably be frozen right now, but I think we're in a tough but good position, if that makes sense. So,
and again, just for clarity, that the fund balance is something that the LGC or state really don't maintain, but it's just a common practice that cities have 8%.
Yeah.
And so Rocky Mount is trying to get back up to 8%, and so you're being very intentional in doing that. As I've said, I think Manager Daniels has produced a budget that was pretty solid. The way he flowed and everything with his delivery of that has have been well. So I guess that wasn't a tough choice to choose him as city manager. I guess because he was there, he knew everything. Cause he's able to just seem like walk into things and just flows.
I think that's the thing. Been in the position with 6-7 years assistant. I think kind of how we came to the decision. It's just city manager search right now. You look at what's going on, Zebulon, Wilson.
Oh yeah, Zebulon's crazy right
Everybody was just kind of looking for a city manager. It's just tough at the moment. So, kind of had some meetings, just like I will just stay within. And I think we made a great decision. Some things that he's done since he's been in the position the last 2 months. He's done some good things, especially with the budget. I saw a different side of him. I didn't know. He dug deep and he made it happen. Because at first when we was talking about the budget, we was like, we way to the left, and he got us right in the middle where we could be productive and keep the city driving.
Yeah, he has. And the layout of it, all that kind of things are good. And reminding council, hey, I work at the pleasure of the council. So he said, whatever y'all want to do, we're going to figure out how to do. And it looks like, before you got here, I talked about, it looks like the consensus is there'll be about a 4-cent increase to property taxes.
So I think that's still being discussed, but I think it will probably pass with a 4%. And it'll put you right where you need to be. I think it's tough, but I think even like last year going back, there's been a lot of discussion, misinformation, but the information that was given, you made a decision you thought was best for the city. And I think we're here. So.
Yeah. Anyways, so the budget, you say you're meeting one more time on Monday?
So, you got the public hearing Monday, but you still have you still got to June 31st before July 1st, June 30th to get it to pass. But I think we're pretty much like done cutting through it. I think we're right where we need to be for the budgets. Yeah,
it sounds like it. And so, and he just wanted that direction. So it was good that we guys kind of moved along and said, hey, Eldon said, look, I need some direction. There was a lot of banter in regards to it, and finally it got the direction there. And of course, it does anticipate some fee increases in water and sewer to kind of balance those things out, because for years the city has been operating in deficit with those things, and so it makes it tight and makes it hard. And so I think collectively there's about a $700,000 increase to those combined. So not a whole bunch of money, but still necessary money.
I think $1 here, 50 cents here, but it adds up.
Exactly, especially with the most of it. And when you think about Rocky Mount, what do you think is next for Rocky Mount?
So I know. We saw you out a few weeks ago, went to the economic summit. I think we have 2 developments coming. And I think we're on the bridge of one that can be very major for the city if we can land a distribution center.
Okay.
That'll be very major, especially economic development. So I think we're headed right where we need to be. I think you'll see downtown come more alive as we come finalizing a comprehensive plan soon.
Okay.
More housing coming. So I think we're right where we need to be. I think we just got to keep cutting the layers and making some hard decisions and making some changes. But I think we're right where we need to be. So I'm excited about what's next for Rocky Mount.
And that, of course, is the expectations of citizens to make those decisions to grow Rocky Mount for sure. And again, I think sometimes what is missing is that Rocky Mount is growing.
Yeah.
You see the tax base growing. You see new pieces of property come on to be annexed within the city. And then, the question that I always hear as I'm talking to people throughout the community is, what are we going to do about dilapidated housing in various communities? What is going to be that strategic plan to really, target those things and say, hey, we want to rid ourselves of it, and know that there's no city that has zero dilapidation.
Yeah. And I do think we have some areas that we do have to focus on to try to, with those dilapidated houses. I think that's something that we do have to come up with a plan and execute on that, especially in those areas where it's very bad and it's very noticeable. So I think we're working on that. And I think once you get downtown, get even more life and more business to come downtown, everything else will drive. So I think it is really the center of it all. So I think, I don't know, I'm just excited about the future of Rocky Mount and where we're going.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think many are. And it doesn't seem as though I see a lot of negative conversation about city council as we have seen in the past. It seems as though the way everything is flowing the way that one would hope it would be in a community. Now, what's next for Jay Kelly?
Oh man, I guess I'll try to run again.
Okay.
I got one more in me, and we'll try to see where that goes, and just continue to be Jay Kelly. That's all I know.
So filing is next month. Time be flying. Yeah, I guess so. A few weeks. Yeah, filing is in a few weeks. And now, one of the I dare not have you on the show and not ask you about the headlines that made social media, newspaper, and the mama's kitchen table and everywhere else. And so, and I will say this: when I saw the headlines about you on Fighting Crime, there had never been a story that I can recall in which there were so many positive comments, and this is not the man that I know. This has to be false. This is not Jay Kelly. I support him, Team Jay Kelly. Most of them throw him in the trash can, put him in jail, do this, and so I think that speaks to who you are as an individual. That so many people were just supportive of it.
Yeah, I think. It was a long 34 days.
30 you account.
And they're talking now. I mean, it was allegations. Like I said, it was dismissed. It was taken care of. So the noise don't be as loud when it's done. And I think I was okay. It was just like your character far exceed anything else. So I knew I had been a good person. Okay. I am a good person. So I knew I had a moment. Like you said, I was on the mama's kitchen table, everybody kitchen table. But I had a moment. I'm not perfect, but I won't speak on the situation. Sure. But it's just far as the headlines. I hope it one day say that they were dismissed. That's done. That's behind me. So we move on. And I handle it with grace with my head up.
And what's crazy about it is, you just said it humbly. It was dismissed. Yeah, it was dismissed. like me, I said, that thing gone. I ain't got nothing. All that. So all the talking, this, that, and third. So it is. There's no pending charges against you in North Carolina courts. All that has been dismissed. Yeah. And of course, you knew that would be the expected end because you knew what happened. What was reported didn't happen. Yeah. I get it. So now that's behind you. Well, I guess you was running even before that because you knew what your commitment to the community was or is.
I mean, you have some distractions, but I knew what I had to keep the main thing, and that was this. And people just think, they'll just take something and run with it. That's what happened. But like you said, I think if I learned anything from reading a book called Let Them Theory, and she say one thing, you got to just turn the comments off. Don't read them. And people who don't walk the way you walk, they always have something to say from the sidelines, but that's suspected. But I knew the truth. So
you knew the truth.
I knew the truth.
And that's what happens so many times for a lot of people who are charged with things. They unfortunately get ridiculed or thrown in the back door or this, that, and third because of what somebody can say. Yeah. And the power of the way systems are in place. It is a very unfortunate system and how you have to go through those things to clear your name. Yeah. It is.
But I never tried to clear it.
I get you. I kept walking. I'm saying even just going through the process.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the process of clearing it because you had to get the charges had to do their thing, and so. But I get what you're saying. You didn't intentionally say, "Oh, I'm doing some backhand and stuff." Yeah, it is what it is. I get it. And then sometimes the things take a long time. It's an unfortunate situation. But again, Councilman Jay Kelly, live in the studio this morning, has made the official announcement that you do plan on seeking a second term on Rocky Mount City Council. And I guess I asked you, what makes you want to do that? Going through nearly almost 40 years of it, what would say?
It was at moments, and I think at first, when I first came on, you would see this, and people would just take this and run with it, and you'd be like, man, that's not true, So you would try to just, I think, keeping the people informed, and like you said, even when this happened, when adversity hit the door, and how some people would just step up and try to say, this is not the person that I know. So it's been a ride of my life, just helping people, like knowing that you can be a servant to try to serve people and try to keep people informed with what's really going on in the city. So like, since I came on, we had a ward meeting every quarter. We have the back to school drive every year since I've been on. The way we've been able to work with Wesleyan, the way we've been able to partner with the school system and community colleges in the area as far as the ward. And I think, I don't know, just making sure that Ward 7 was heard. And I heard, we make sure Chief come in twice a year and give stats. Crime is definitely not up in Ward 7. So I heard that somewhere along the way. That's false. But it's been a ride of my life. It's been fun. Even working with council members that I work with, it's been a ride, and we are a team. If you look and if you wake up every day and you love everybody you play with every day, it's not good. Sometimes you gotta have disagreements, but it's been a ride of my life. Serving with the people I serve with, doing what we do.
Now, I've been to one or two of your ward meetings, and it is apparent that the folks in Ward 7 appreciate your service, appreciate that you are available to them as well. And so I've seen that firsthand, at least on 2 occasions. I think one at the Wesleyan College, and then one at the golf course.
Yeah,
the golf course is there, and that thing was something, and now it's really something. In the golf course,
the restaurant's open. They got golf paths fixed. They can water the greens now. So you look North Green, the pool's coming back. They're working on the pool. I think maybe in the next 60 days they'll start working on a tennis court and pickleball court. So North Green, to see that come back. When I came on, that was one of the main things. They complained about code enforcement and what can you do to help North Green. So we put a team together. We were able to get North Green purchased, and it's slowly but surely coming back. And things, he told us when he took over, it won't happen overnight.
Sure.
So, but to see, yesterday I ran on the golf. I don't think I was supposed to, but I did it. Ran on the golf lanes, and to see all of those through all 18 lanes new, it's pretty impressive.
Wow. And I think early on, when this thing was dealing with the water systems, of people were calling us, just happy to see the water system working, and I kind of saw it on Facebook and things of that nature. So, certainly some improvement there. And again, the boundary of Ward 7 is what North Green, you mentioned that, and Belmont, Gold Rock,
the left side of 301.
Left side 301. Okay.
And it's just been it's been good to be a servant. I think that's what I've been put on earth to do. So it's been a ride. It's been a ride.
So good stuff, indeed. Again, I guess I say I see you on the campaign trail, but I see you because we're not running against each other during the same time. There, and so I think it's been a widely spread notice that Councilman Richard Joyner isn't seeking another term in Ward 3. But again, city council seats that are up for election is Ward 2, Councilman Reuben Blackwell, Ward 3, which is Councilman Richard Joyner, Ward 7, Ward 6, which is Tom Harris, and then Ward 7, which is yourself, and you just announced today that you are planning on seeking a next term in the Rocky Mount City Council.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you always, and appreciate you for allowing this platform and keeping the people informed.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Appreciate you.
No problem. 252-407-8432. That's 252-407-8432. I want to say good morning to Eki. Good morning to Lorraine Pitts. Thank you so much for tuning in to WNCR-TV. Bernice Harris, good morning to you as well. Thank you all for tuning in to WNCR-TV. Now, we got about 2 minutes before we get up out of here this morning for sure. And then, as in his last 2 minutes, of course, don't forget to check out Pop's Diner, located 132 South Church Street, downtown Rocky Mount. We'll be open from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. So looking forward to seeing you there on today. And what else is going on? I don't know what else is going on right now. I don't think there's any meetings that I'm. The Edgecombe Party, Democratic Party, is having a meeting tonight at the headquarters, and so that's going on tonight at 6 p.m. I'll be there via Zoom until I can get there in person. I think I'll be there on Zoom because I know I couldn't get there at 6 o'clock if I still got to be at the restaurant. So, but nevertheless, that's going on tonight as well. So there's a lot of things that the Edgecombe County Democratic Party is looking to do and wanting to do to get people involved in the political process, even now in the municipal elections and certainly in the midterm elections, which is next year. And so all those things are going on. Remember that filing for the 2026 elections will start in December, with the primary being in March and the election being in November. And of course, filing for the 2025 municipal elections will start next month, with the election being in October. And if there, in fact, is a need for a runoff election, you will vote in October, then turn around and vote in November. If that is the case, and we've had a number of runoff elections in our most recent election cycles. So that's pretty much all we've got to talk about today. We'll see you tomorrow on WNCR-TV Now.